We're doing soap labels today with Canva. So, all right, and we're going to do everything with a free account. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a custom page. Now I'm going to give you the template for this so you don't have to, but I want you to know what I've done. So I'm going to create a custom size. I'm going to do the traditional size of printer paper. When I print my labels, most of my labels are done where the width is 8.5 and the height is 11. Occasionally I've had some soaps, this is inches, and then I'm going to have to go back and do that again. 8.5 by 11 inches, and I'm going to create a new design. Now I'm going to see if I can copy my, okay, oh no, go back. So I want to see with this free account if we can create multiple different sizes, and we can. Okay, that is awesome. That's what I wanted to know. So I knew you could with the professional account. So now, it used to be with Canva that for every design size you had to have a totally new document. So that means that, like, I had things that were like my first step. So for example, when I say first step, like my soap label itself is going to be an 8.5, an 8 by 2. It's going to be 8 inches long and 2 inches wide. And so I initially had to design my 8 by 2 in a separate document and then download it as a image, like a JPEG or a PNG, and then re-upload it and then format it on this page, however many would fit on the page. Now they have made it to where you can have multiple different size documents in the same file, which is amazing for organization. So right here I'm going to create now a custom size, another one, and this one is going to be that 8 by 2 because that's where you really line everything up. And again, I'm going to give you, you have this template, but I just want you to understand the workings here. And so the width is 8 inches. Oh, we're back at pixels again. It always defaults to pixels. So you're going to do 8 inches wide, 2 inches tall. That's the standard bar soaps that I sell and make are all about this size. You can change this if you find that you need a different size, and occasionally I'll have a fatter bar, in which case I'll turn this horizontal to be landscape, and then I will have a longer, that way if I needed to be more than 8 inches to wrap around that bar soap. So anyway, okay, so we've got our 8 by 2, and now a lot of my, I'm gonna copy and paste one of my labels. I'm going to take off my, I'll just show you what I've done here, but let's copy. Why does the news keep popping up? Okay, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to paste it in here. There it is. Okay, and what you'll see here right off the bat is it doesn't look anything like my label. There, that's my label right there. That's one of my labels, because that font, those fonts, almost everything there are fonts that I purchased through Etsy. Super easy and inexpensive if you want to have more of a custom look for your things. You don't have to have that. I'm gonna and that was the image, that was a placeholder for my logo, which you don't necessarily have to have. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to edit this for a template for you. I know. Okay, so we're going to see what we're going to use for that. We want something much cuter for there. What about Brittany? Ooh, that looks kind of good. pretty big. You have to keep in mind, like, where does it wrap around the soap bar? And so you can see here, I'm going to put in, we've got our rulers up here. Okay, I'm going to open the rulers. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to say Show the Rulers. Oh, they're there. Sorry. They're up. Okay, so let me go back to my other one. It is in between, it's around a little over 1.5 to a little over 3.5. It's as wide as it needs to be. Where is that bar of soap? I'll just grab this one. I don't see that one. But as wide as it needs to be without falling around the edges. So can you see that? Okay, so going back to our template, we are at 1.5 to 5. Again, 1.5 to 3.5. So we're going to bring this down. Right there is 1.5 to 3.5. All right, and then we can bring that over. It's a little bigger. We can close this tab here. One up and change that font. That's all we've done at this point, and then resized it a little. You don't have to have handcrafted soap on there, but this is where you can put your brand. And it doesn't have to look exactly like this if you wanted your brand up top. And now, this does not have the grams on there. When I first started, and I'm slowly moving my stuff over, how many I need to, technically we're supposed to have ounces and grams. How many grams in 4.5 ounces? Let's see what I can get for that, because I do need to do that myself. And 127 grams. So we're going to do 127 little g. Okay, now I feel like that's pretty big now compared to the others. Granted, it's only a 10. That's the other thing you got to remember. This is only a 10 size font. I think what I want to do is just squeeze it together a little bit. So I'm going to go up here to Advanced Settings, and that's where you can letter space or line space. This is letter spacing. So I'm going to squeeze those in a little bit. I don't think it needs to be any smaller than a 10 point. Let's see, our ingredients over here are a 5. Those are pretty tiny. Your brand name can definitely be bigger. Okay, this little thing here allows you to compact it till it jumps to the next line. Okay, and honestly, the ingredients are pretty tiny. I don't know if you can see that. But I don't have the greatest vision and I can read them. Okay, so here you don't want to move this up, because then again you're going to be on that side label. So this is really kind of in a good spot, and I have learned the hard way that you don't want it too terribly wide, because sometimes when you cut it, when you cut your paper out, you'll cut off your edges. And you do not have to put a logo on this soap. You do not have to do it like I had it. You can delete that and just put your business name. I'll leave it there just in case. And oh, it's hard to level it up. It is kind of funky working sideways like this, but trying to get it 90 should be exactly. I don't know why that looks crooked to me. Okay, and this is going to be website if you have one. Website address or whatever, any kind of contact. You want to say website contact or website. When I was selling in other locations, that's where I would put my email or my Google Voice line for my business. Okay, so once you have this done, you can, now you've got your template for that. Now you can copy that as many times you want for different soaps. I still think that needs a little work right there, okay? But you don't want to have too many fonts. So basically, based on what your brand font is, then it'll determine whether you want that to stay really simple like that. Because you don't want it to be too, sorry, my boat's asleep, you don't want it to be overwhelming visually. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, again, you can, when I said you can copy that, look, you can duplicate the page. You literally have another one just like it. You go in, you add the new soap name, all of that stays the same. You add your new ingredients, boom. Oh, but let's go back, okay, let's delete it. I like to add some little fun to the image. So citrus, cedar, sage. We could say sage. Now, and we could say graphics. I don't know what they'll have in here. Let's just take this graphic, for example. Now, I don't like a lot of color. I don't know if I can, I don't like a lot of color on my labels. I'm taking that transparency down. I don't think I like that. But I saw another one. I really like more of the black and white images for, now that one's green, so I'm going to go ahead and just change that. That I like to add some kind of botanical plant something to my soaps. Now the way that I would do this, if I wanted to use this, I know that looks weird right there, it could go to the side smaller. If it was something you wanted to go behind everything, I would take the transparency way down and then I would position it to the back. So that's an option. Okay, let's get it back. I don't love that. I feel like it looks kind of messy there. So instead we could take that down. We could add that. Another option, you can, it's got citrus, so you can just say citrus, and ooh, so fun. I'm sorry, I get excited over design. So another thing you could do here is you could take everything to one side here, still within, leave that right there. Okay, this is kind of going the wrong direction. But the cool thing is that you can flip it up there at the top, flip. You can flip it. You can flip it all kind of ways. Let's go back the way it was there. Flip it. Oh, that's got a watermark. I'm sorry, you can't use those. Okay, that's, I forget because we have got to have free only. Where's the option for the free ones? We have to pick the ones without the crown. It used to be, let me move me out of the way here. It used to be that you could take your search. I thought you could. Where is it? You should be able to take the search and only see the free images. Okay, that's free right there. It doesn't have a crown. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. So you could just technically move that up here. The brand name back to the center. I made that small on accident. Take that back up. Okay. So, all kind of options there. If you want to pay for the Canva for the professional account, then you obviously would have access to all of those. Now we're on graphics. I think I showed you that at the beginning. Like, you could have, when you search a word, you've got photos, but for things like this, I choose the graphic designs. And again, I like the black and white. Okay. All right. Let's see. The next step is I want to make a placeholder for this design. You could download it, like I said, as a PNG or a JPEG and pull it back up and stretch it to 8x2. But that is more work. You're downloading, you're uploading. That's the way I used to have to do everything before they let us have different size graphics. Okay, so what I want is a rectangle. Oops. Okay, So what I'm going to do with this is I want to make it 2 inches high. Do you see how it's popping up there? And 8 inches long. Okay. Oh, another thing we want to do before we go on, go back to the file, go back to your settings, and we want to set up, we want to show the margin. We got the bleed. This is the margins. If you're creating a document, you want to stay within margins. We're not creating a document. When you're printing, you want to stay within the bleed. The bleed is this line that's going around the edges. Okay, so we're going to butt up to the bleed right now. We're going to go to 8 by 2. Okay. Now, we're going to turn our background to light gray, to the lightest of gray. There we go. And now I'm going to change that to white. Now we can see we have an 8 by 2 white label. And now I'm going to take everything, I'm going to group it together. You don't technically have to group it, but it sure makes it a lot easier when you get over there that it stays together. And I am going to paste it here. We're going to take it down like it was. Let's take a look at it. Take it just a tad. Let's see. All right, let's see. I'm going to ungroup for a minute. Is this all the right size? 19, 9, 10, 5. I feel like all this could be, whoops, a little bigger. Let's go over here. 32, 12, 7, 5. So that one right there is about a 32. What is this? It's a 19, but it is a little wider. What did I do different down here? It's all there. It is between 1.5. Okay, go in. And 4. It's just a smaller font too. But yep. Okay. All right. So there we have it. We have our label. We are going to now select everything, including the white background, and we're going to group these together. That group is hiding right there. I'm going to group it. And now if you did it right, everything moves together. Now we're going to see how many of these we can fit on a page. I think I usually do 5, which is nice because usually one soap loaf is usually 10 bars. So print 2 of these. Okay, duplicate it. Now once I duplicate it, I go in there and get it as close together. Okay, and then once you do that, usually it'll usually, if you duplicate it right now, it'll separate it exactly like you had it. That's okay. We'll just duplicate it one more time. Yep. So there's 5. Now, let me tell you something else. Sometimes if there's for some reason with my Epson EcoTank printer, if there is a jam, it's always like the first few seconds, or if there's like a ink smudge, it's always in those first grabs. So what I've done, you see how I have a little more room at the bottom than you do at the top? I usually go through and group everything right now. Group that whole thing. Oops. Group. And then I just slide everything down just a little more. So we have a little more, not too far, a little more freedom at the top for that. And then you can duplicate this as well. Send it down. And let's say, let's duplicate that. You've got a different soap. Let's say you're going to do, I'm going to ungroup it so I can put lavender. I don't like the font for lavender at all. Why can't I not do a capital A? Lavender Meadows. Let's just say that. Meadows. Okay. I'm I'm going to change that font just for the sake of this teaching. Okay. Take that off. Lavender Meadows, okay. Look up some lavender images, some graphics that are free. Let's see what we can find. Again, I'm looking for something that's either lightly colored. That's free, so we're gonna, oh, I put two of them there, let's go. Now if you see there, that's not black and white, that's a blue, but if you go right here and change it to, I usually do a light gray, I don't usually do, but you technically could use one of those. You could use the color one if you choose. There's two of those. Okay. I'm not going to spend a ton of time designing right now, but I really do like to stick with the black and white. Can you tell? For some variety, you could leave it in the middle. You could move these over a little bit to have your lavender there. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is now we have a second soap. So we're going to go through and we're going to group these. And we're going to copy. I'm just right clicking to copy. You can technically copy there too. So we're going to go back up. Remember we duplicated the citrus cedar sage. So ungroup. I can go and delete everything except for that top. Anytime you make a mistake, undo is your friend. Control Z or the backspace. Okay, so we're going to lock the background. I'm going to lock this background right now. I don't want it to go away. I'm going to lock it right there. Okay, and then I'm going to delete the rest. And now I'm going to paste. Oh my gosh. That scared me to death. It's my grandbaby's FaceTiming me. I'll have to call him back. Alrighty. Okay, we've got that locked so it didn't move. That's where we were. And then we're going to now copy. We've got it's still grouped, so super easy. I mean, you technically could duplicate it just like that or copy and paste it. It doesn't matter. Just remember that we do not center these because we don't center them because this wraps around the bar and this wraps around the bar and this is on the back. Okay, this is locked. So we're going to unlock that now. And now we can group all of it together. Group, you're just adding the background. So we're going to duplicate it. Leave a little smidge. And do it again. And again. And again. That time because why'd that get stuck there? And there you go. Now you have your lavender soap labels ready. Again, you would want to edit the ingredients before you duplicated it. You don't want to edit the ingredients 5 times, but so that's it in a nutshell. I download it as a PDF. So you're going to share it. So we're only going to be downloading these like full page documents. So you're going to download it here. You're going to choose it to be a PDF print. You're going to it's not for digital use, it is for professional printing, even though I don't actually do professional printing. Why did that happen? What did I click on? What am I doing that's not right? PDF print. It's not professional. Okay, you know what? We can't click the professional printing. Whatever. It'll be fine for your soaps, I promise. Okay, so you have to have a business account to do the professional printing. We'd still want it to be a print. There we go. Download to go. And now it's ready. It's downloading to. And I print a lot from my phone because the Canva app is super convenient. I don't like to do all this editing on the Canva app on my phone, but you can just because it's such a tiny amount of space. I mean, if I just need to quickly edit something, I can. And if I had to do all of it, I would. But I do prefer when you're dealing to be able to just like really zoom in and use the mouse, work on that, all that. But then once it's there, you print it, and I'll do the next step in the next video.